call the meeting of the Economic Development and Planning Committee to order. Andrea, could you please call the roll?
Good afternoon, everyone. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Ms. Turner. Here. Mr. Gallagher is absent. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Simon is absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there any public comment?
No public comment has been received.
In the packet, there's minutes from the July 14th, 2025 meeting. I would accept a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Matter referred to committee.
Resolution 2025-0338, authorizing an economic development loan in the amount not to exceed $2 million to Village of Joy Corporation or their designee to facilitate the development of a birthing center located at 1792 East 65th Street in the city of Cleveland.
All right, who's speaking on this today?
I will be speaking. Anthony Stella, Department of Development. Good afternoon, committee. I will be speaking on this project today, and we have the slides on here. This loan was just reviewed and overwhelmingly recommended for approval by the CCIC committee at the November 13th meeting. And it's Birthing Beautiful Communities is the nonprofit. And this is going to be a run through of the presentation here. We'll go over the sponsor, project scope, the rationale for the loan, the terms of the loan, sources and uses, and then we'll go through the collateral analysis. So the nonprofit Birthing Beautiful Communities, they were founded in 2014. It's dedicated to improving maternal and infant health outcomes in underserved communities, particularly among Black, Indigenous, and people of color. They build community capacity by training, deploying perinatal support persons, also known as doulas. They provide culturally appropriate education, advocacy, and they directly offer midwife-led care. Organization is governed by a mission of improving systemic and community structures that lead to poor birth outcomes. It has already assisted over 2,000 women, babies, and families. They seek to expand access, which is why they're looking to build a new facility. And that facility is a new construction building in the Huff neighborhood, which will have 15,340 square feet of medical office space, 33 parking spaces will be new construction. So the Huff neighborhood where this center will open is an area with disproportionately high infant and maternal mortality, limited access to non-hospital birthing options. There's currently no other freestanding birth centers in Greater Cleveland, so this project will have a unique role in the community. They have strong referral links, and their target includes having about 50 births in the first full year and then expanding. They will, again, be led by midwives, and they'll have a collaborating physician, which is required, following all standards of care advocated by the American Association of Birth Centers. So some of the rationale of why the Department of Development is involved in the deal with a loan. Number one is job creation. There will be a minimum of 9 new jobs created by this project, the permanent jobs. Some asset leverage. So in addition to providing the new construction there, it will also be sort of leveraging some additional investments in the area. So within a few blocks, you have the University Hospital's Women and Children's Center, and also the Cleveland Foundation's new headquarters. This is also a transit-oriented development project built within, again, a few blocks of multiple RTA routes, including the Health Line, which is a very heavily traveled line, and then the social impact. So improving healthcare outcomes. That's a very big social impact and a big reason for the project and why we're involved. The county has, the department thoroughly underwrote this loan, fully vetted and approved by, again, the CCIC committee. And we've offered a loan of $2 million with a fixed rate of 5.5%. These are all standard terms. There will be a 2-year interest-only period, and then followed by 15 years fully amortizing over that time. Their historical numbers and projections show a strong ability to cover that debt. And we can see a full host of different sources and uses within the project. They did a phenomenal job with fundraising, bringing in grants from multiple sources, multiple layers, and have utilized a new market structure to bring in additional investment, which is essentially paying for the tax credits, which brings additional revenue in. So this is a $13 million project, and all in the county will be, with $2 million. And so this is what the existing debt structure will look like on the deal. So when we look at the QLICI A, QLICI B, what to remember there is those are parts of a new market structure. So that A represents money that was raised, which is, it's a debt within the structure, but there's no outside debtor looking to be repaid off of that. That's all of a transaction that happens within sort of the intricacies of that new market structure. Those payments are, 1% for the 7 years of that new market structure on both sides. The QLICI B side represents the actual investment, which also, once the deal unwinds in year 7, there's essentially an option that gets exercised. It effectively wipes out that $3.8 million. So once the project gets outside of that structure, the debt that would be remaining would be this loan at $2 million and the city of Cleveland, which is $750,000. Some of their sources, a lot of their ongoing funding and some of their fundraising has been required a lot of foundation support and other philanthropic support. And there's a wide range of different providers. So they're not dependent on necessarily one source of funds. They have a wide range of funds that will help them as they go on into the future. So if we take a look at the analysis on the collateral and, what I was kind of going over before, the deal would have a second position lien on the leasehold interest, which on a commercial property is essentially holds the same value as the real estate itself, because the value for commercial property is derived off of the rents that are generated. So during the structure, during that 7 years of the new market structure, we do have a high loan to value ratio, but again, once we get outside of that 7 years, that the first position, the two loans are in the first, go away because there's nobody outside looking to be repaid off of that. The county's loan would then be in that first position at a 37% loan to value, which would be very strong on this deal. We'll also have a corporate guarantee from the nonprofit, from Birthing Beautiful Communities, because we will be lending to an entity created for tax credit purposes. And we'll also, the business will also be establishing a 12-month debt reserve within the first year after project completion, just to further provide some additional, collateral for the county's loan. That is the entirety of the presentation, and just to know, I'm sure everyone's aware, we've been reviewing this project for a long time, and we've made sure on the financial side that everything really made sense, because on the mission, this is an easy project to support on the mission. And after we had it fully reviewed, we feel very strongly about the finances as well, and so we're asking for the committee's support and open it up for any questions at this point.
Council President, I'm sorry, Council, Mr. Chair, I would like the record to reflect that Councilmember Simon is in attendance.
Thank you very much. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So, looking at all of this, they're taking on significant loans for this project. Where does the bulk of the income come from?
The income historically has been from philanthropic support, which they've shown over the past few years of being able to support that. And it's from multiple sources as well.
So, once it's open and they're seeing clients or patients or whatever, are they going to have income from the patients?
Yes, yes. So there'll be, just as any other medical facility, there will be some who have insurance, some self-pay, and some, insured through Medicaid or what have you. So yes, there will be revenue, and they also have other sort of lines of service that they're looking to provide, which will have additional revenue as well.
So if the people can't pay, would they be referred to Metro, or would they be doing that there also?
They would be doing it here, and that's what some of the funding they get from federal and state government and from other foundations. That is to help pay for some of the patients that cannot pay on their own.
When do you think this might break ground?
I think we have it here. I believe they're looking to break ground spring of 2020, this coming spring, I believe, is when they're looking to break ground. Should be opening in '27.
You have an approximate time with that, or is it all dependent on weather, et cetera?
Yeah, I think it's all kind of dependent. They're actually in the process of closing that big New Markets transaction right now, and some of the other sources of funding sort of closing shortly thereafter.
Okay. So one of the things was it's going to create 9 full-time jobs at 35,000, right? Is that what it says?
I believe that's the
From the
amount,
loan?
correct, yep.
All right. So what is the formula for that? I mean, how do we get to the $2 million? Isn't there a formula that you use, or?
Yes, there is normally a formula we use. So this was sort of an exception to our policy. The normal formula on this kind of project would be, $50,000 for every new job. Given the mission of this project, we wanted to support it with an amount that was, that they could afford and could be approved for.
Okay, now are those new employees, or if not, where are they now?
Those will be new employees to the site.
Got it. Are there any questions from committee?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chair. So these new jobs, are they, what's creating these new jobs? It's not that these loans and the construction and the new place. What's the connection between what the county's doing and these new jobs?
There will be some permanent jobs on this site because they're going to have expanded services here. So there'll be some midwife jobs, other nurses. So these are jobs that will be, full-time on this site, in addition to what they already employ, because they provide services currently inside of hospitals and in other places. So this will be a growth for the organization.
Okay. In terms of the security from this is the nonprofit that's lending, giving us a secured.
Correct.
Security. Tell me about that. What assets does it have and?
Sure, they have a small, they have an endowment of a couple $100,000, and they have a pretty strong balance sheet in general, and they have a strong history of revenue going at least for the last 4 years.
What's the amount what did you say? What do they have from the?
Give me 1 second while I look at it, and
It's a 501c3?
correct, it's a 501c3.
It's okay. You're looking for the amount of the,
Yeah, I'm looking for that amount because I wasn't, it's probably going to be right here. So.
got a couple lifelines here.
Council members and Chair Paul Herdig, Department of Development, the principles of birth and middle communities are.
Mr. Hurdig, if you could step towards the microphone, please.
The principles of birth and middle communities, Jasmine and Chris are on their way, are expected shortly. And so they can express better than I can some of the overall points. But just to make a couple points to kind of amplify what staff have said, Birthing Beautiful Communities is active now in fulfilling its mission and actually has a considerable number of staff already in place. There will be an expansion of the operation when it's able to move into the new facility. That will be the reason they'll be able to add 9 additional positions across the organization. They mainly will focus on their existing mission, which is supporting the birth of children to women under the doula system. They will have, as staff have indicated, small additional line of business in doing some medical spa services. They are not relying on that to pay our loan. Our staff actually tested what would happen if they didn't make any money on that at all and found that it was not a problem, that is not what we're counting on to make the loan. Their core mission is, in fact, the provision of the birthing services. We were actually a little bit surprised to learn as we talked with them that while some of their patients do receive Medicaid, they have a significant number of patients who are privately insured and even private pay. So they are not as exposed to Medicaid as we at first thought they would be. So this gave us some comfort, and I'm sure Jasmine can speak in more detail to that when she hears. It gave us some comfort. They are not quite as exposed to what may happen with Medicaid as we had feared at first. And with regard to their history of being able to secure operating grants and donations, we were also initially a little bit skeptical, and we put them through quite a bit of scrutiny, kind of looking at the history of where their grants were coming from. They have a mix of public and private philanthropic funding. They've been successful in securing state-level funding, as well as some significant foundations. So that is why, as we looked more into this, our staff became more comfortable with continuing to project their success and continuing to secure this funding here. It's not just a one-time capital campaign. They actually have demonstrated there are donors willing to pay for their operations going forward. And I'm very pleased that they are now here to join us in person. Hopefully what they have to say will be consistent with what I have briefed you on in my remarks.
Thank you. No, through the chair, I was just waiting to hear about the security.
Yes, so the balance sheet shows an endowment currently of about $126,000 that they have. They have total assets just under $6 million on hand, and they don't have, let me see here, the liabilities are, they have no contingent liabilities at this point. So they're
What are
pretty
the
strong.
assets?
The assets that they have are they have some cash on hand, marketable, some cash on hand, some accounts receivables, and some other fixed assets.
Equipment?
Yes, the net value of fixed assets, about $1.5 million of equipment.
And then just lastly, about the second position on the real estate, right?
Correct, yes.
Is there enough equity in there to support first and second?
Yes. So if we took a look at The first that's in place is essentially the new market structure, which would be first ahead of us. Within that structure, normally on one side of the deal, you would have some outside debt coming in. Being that this is a nonprofit, all of the money that's coming in to that structure is either, it's some form of equity. So it's ahead of us because it has to be, it's part of the requirement. So during that time, there really isn't the equity, if that's kind of the question. So given that, it's why we asked to have a 1 year of debt reserves put into there too. So within the first year of operations, they will set aside a year's worth of county debt service payments, so that if they run into anything unforeseen, they do have a good 1 year of runway to be able to continue paying. But again, on that debt ahead of us, there's no true outside debt payments being made to that. That's all a part of the intricacies of the new market structure.
Through the chair? Thank you. What happens if the construction costs escalate? Who absorbs those costs? The borrower?
I believe they have a maximum price bid, and they have a contingency built into that as well. And I'll have Jasmine speak to that.
Hi, good afternoon. My apologies. That's exactly it. We already have a GMP in place.
Jasmine, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Jasmine Long, President and CEO of Birthing Beautiful Communities. Yes, so we've already put this out to bid with our GMP, and so our numbers are set from there. And he also indicated that we have a contingency built in as well, but we are already out to bid, which is why we are trying to close this deal now.
Okay. Back for the economic development team. How are you measuring the project's ability to actually do what it says that it will do?
Just like with any loan to any business, we look at the history of the business or the organization. So we take a look at the history and then what they tell us they're going to do and see if those things are in sync. And in this case, they were.
Okay. Will there be coordination with the county's Women's Health Commission or other maternal?
So I do, oh God, I do serve on the Women's Health Commission for the county, and so would be looking to host events here and to allow us to have a space to really gather and join. Because again, while this is a birth center, it really is a women's health center that will cover encompassing women's health issues from zero to death. So we have the ability to do so much in this building.
Okay. And final question through the chair. I think you touched on this, but can you just repeat, what's the timeline for construction and from beginning to end?
So we started construction 3 weeks ago. Yes. And they have said 12 months. So I'm saying, 16, 18 months this building should be done. So at the latest, we expect to be in by the top of 2027.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So the Village of Joy is the actual borrower?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And is that an independent developer?
It's a related company. So in this case, they exist to own the real estate, and Birthing Beautiful Communities will then be a tenant. It's fairly common in these real estate deals, and when there's a tax credit structure also, there's often a separate entity created.
So basically, they're the financial arm of the organization, or?
They're really the real estate owner of the organization.
Okay.
Birthing Beautiful Communities is the operating business where all the revenues come through.
Are there any plans to partner with hospital systems or medical centers, that type of thing?
So the work of our organization isn't going to change in the sense that we will stop going to hospitals. So I'm imagining that there'll be screenings that hospitals have at our clinic as well, really in true partnership, even though we are not under their umbrella as one of their clinics. So I'm working very closely now with Cleveland Clinic, Metro, and University Hospitals in order to think about what this can look like in the future.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you. And are you looking for suspension on this?
Yes, we are. They need to have this approved this year, if at all possible, so that they can close on the New Markets transaction.
In that case, I would move this forward to second reading suspension to full council.
So move. Oh, second.
Second, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any miscellaneous business? No? All right. And in that case, we will adjourn. Thank you.